Welcome back to the Jesse Nyberg podcast. Today I have a really cool guest, and it's nice to have someone that I've been following and kind of looking up to and stuff for a while as my third guest here. And so today I have Tom from Dreadlabs. How's it going, man?
What's up, guys? I'm good. How about you?
What was that?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm good.
How's your day?
Good. So yeah, we have a pretty big time difference. It's like noon right here for me, and it's like nighttime over there, right?
Right, yeah, 9 p.m. or something.
And so I know that you're from Europe, but where are you from exactly?
So I'm from the Netherlands, in
really?
Eindhoven. I don't know if you know that.
No, I don't. Have you always lived there?
So yeah, I've grown up here. It's a bit in the south of the Netherlands, but yeah, the Netherlands is really small compared to the United States. So, but yeah, I lived close to Amsterdam for a short while for an internship. Cool. But yeah, for the rest, I'm just living near Eindhoven.
Yeah, I feel like in Europe compared to the US, you can go through so many countries like just on a train or something. Over here, it's like us and then states, and then you have to go like fly to go the other ones, you know?
Yeah. I've heard like some people from the United States or something, and they say like, yeah, you've never been out of state, but that's not even weird to me because yeah, like a state can be as big as Europe. So, I think. Like I think Texas is like the same size as Europe or something.
Yeah, I live in California, and you can go from the bottom to the top is like 12 hours driving. But if you were to go to the right, you'd go through like 3 or 4 states, you know? It's just super.
Damn.
Like that. So it's weird. Like they were thinking about dividing it in half at one point because the politics are like different in the areas and everything too. So how did you first start like getting into design over there? Was it always like since you were little?
Well, I've been into some graphic stuff when I was little. Like when I was like a 12-year-old kid, I used to like draw my own fantasy Pokemon games. But
nice.
Yeah, I've been in the music industry like as a DJ and producer myself ever since I was 14, and like trying to design my own artworks and like my own event flyers and stuff like that kind of got me into graphic design. And it's easier to get a career in like graphic design than it is as a famous DJ, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of what I kind of grew into it, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like it's still too like more riskier like pursuits than you know, it's like design, or it's like famous DJ will be my backup, you know.
Yeah,
I'll just be a designer for now. So I know that you said you're producing, so you do if you want to tell us a little bit about like, I want to know how you kind of started with the whole like Dreadlabs thing, because I know it's pretty comprehensive. It's not just like design. I see you trying to make it like a multidisciplinary type thing. I mean, what would you call it? Like a collective or like a studio? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I would go for like something along the lines of Creative Hub. Okay. So yeah, it's also kind of where because I originally like went into like music and the thing and everything, and I've dabbled around with like painting and graffiti and stuff like that as well. And I did a lot of I've worked for some fashion clients, and I got I'm also interested in fashion design as well. So I kind of needed a platform where I could use like get all of these practices and put it into one project for myself. And like I think about 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm kind of giving up on becoming a DJ or producer as a career path or as something that I wanted to be when I was getting older. And I think because I had so many different like creative outlets that I wanted to get into, it was really hard for me to choose one, I guess. Right. Especially because one of them, like graphic design, is where I make most of my money from. So yeah, I wanted to do like this project that gave me the opportunity to dive into all of these creative practices, while also creating a platform to make new friends and to connect other people with maybe like multiple creative passions as well, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So that's where Dreadlabs originates.
I feel like you did a good job of allowing like multidisciplinary things, because I feel like if you don't set that precedent from the beginning, it becomes easy to like be afraid to do other things because everyone's going to expect like only this, you know. If your page is like all about logo design and you just start posting like film photography or something, like all the like target audience is going to be confused. So I feel like you did a good job at like keeping it more open, which is good for everyone, and also like good for, I think, the stress of yourself, you know?
Right. Yeah. Thanks, man.
How did you get the, like, what the name? I know it's kind of dark, but I like it.
Yeah. So what's a bit, the thing you told me that you just said now is also something that I've been struggling with as well, because I feel like most of my audience actually sees me as a graphic design channel, because let's face it, like 90% of my videos on YouTube are graphic design tutorials. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of like trying to expand early on instead of like a year from now on, because like you said, that will come and bite me in the face later. But yeah, the name Dreadlabs, it's because the stress that I had choosing graphic design or music or anything, it gave me a lot of anxiety in the past, and I've been to like quite a rough nervous breakdown, which had me like sitting at home with a burnout for like 6 months or something. And like even before that, I was like kind of already knowing that I had this like depression. And yeah, it just caused me fear. And yeah, I don't know, somewhere in fear, I went from fear to like there's an intense feeling of dread, which yeah, hence the name Dreadlabs. Yeah, exploring what I can do with that fear and then put it into creative practice.
Okay.
Hence the labs part of Dreadlabs.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, like, I feel like even if you just told me something like, oh, it's just like edgy, like it's already cool, and you have the actual like ethos to back it up and everything. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of kind of like underlying mental health like issues in like a lot of creative industries, and I think it's Definitely. Like not only do you have the stress of if you're working at a in-house job or like deadlines or things like that, but especially as like a freelancer, you have it also a like underlying stress that other people don't have to deal with, that comes to like, what jobs am I going to get? And also just like, I don't know about you, but for a long time, and I still like struggle with it, I always have this like imposter syndrome feeling, because like sometimes you see like, oh, I'm doing better, like how much I grow. And then you see all these other people, like sometimes that are on the same like age or whatever, and they're just like killing it like crazy. And you get kind of nervous, you know?
Yeah, it's, I think it's because of social media, you know, like you're not competing with this one person. You're probably like following hundreds of designers probably. And yeah, every once in a while, some of these designers get like a killer job, and but the thing is, you just see like a whole big feed of killer jobs, which is just
you don't see
overwhelming.
Like the work that they did too, so it's easy to feel like, oh, they like I could have got that or whatever, but
yeah,
you don't know what they.
You see all the good stuff appearing.
Yeah, that's the problem with like social media in general. It's just like of course, like you don't want to post bad things, but I really think it's like a good idea when people post like in progress and like just kind of behind the scenes and stuff, because it's easy to be like this like mirage of just like perfect client, perfect job, like over and over, you know? Like
and it's a bit weird for designers too, because like you're just also posting your portfolio, right? You know, you post this stuff to get more clients. So it's it would be weird and counterintuitive to post like talking about like a mental breakdown you had because of a client, because obviously that's gonna look kind of bad, I guess.
Yeah, it's hard. I always try to find a balance between like, I want to keep my page like professional and like only work, but also like I know there's all these people that were already following me that care about my life as well. So I feel like I also kind of owe it to them to be like, here's like, I went to like this concert or whatever, you know what I mean? Because like sometimes I get kind of disappointed in my audience because a picture of like me or like me and my girlfriend will get like double the likes than like this piece I'm super proud of, you know. I'm like, oh,
I've been there.
That when I post that finished like logo, you know.
It's also
go ahead.
It's one of the problems as well for creatives, and I feel like that's why like depression is a bit more common amongst creative people is. Because the thing that you make, you associate it with it like really personal, you know, like this logo, you've made that logo, so it's a part of you. And for example, if I would be an accountant, like I don't know who this accountant report or something, that wouldn't be like part of my identity, you know. So
yeah, no one's gonna comment like, oh, like, yo, you shouldn't be doing that. Like this guy from this accounting place does it way better than you or something.
Yeah,
it's all just numbers. Yeah, like. It's a lot more objective, you know. It's hard to like everyone has their own opinions, and usually I'm okay with constructive criticism and I like it, but I have this weird like feeling. I don't know if it's probably not healthy, but I'm not good at taking constructive criticism from people that I feel like don't know what they're talking about in a way.
Right.
Because then I feel like they're just attacking me because they don't have a lot of like ways to back it up, you know. Yeah.
It's sometimes not saying this is right in every time, but sometimes it's better to, you know, in Dutch we say take it with a grain of salt, you know, like
we say that here too.
Oh really? Yeah. So yeah, it's not take it into seriously, I guess.
Yeah, I don't really understand. Like I understand what that means, but I don't get why it means that, you know. I know it means like just take it easy, like it's not that big of a deal. It's just someone saying something, but it doesn't really make sense for salt, you know?
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you, because I feel like you've done a good job at, you kind of live in this like aesthetic that I think is very popular right now, but I think also you have a way of separating yourself from like that. I like one thing that I don't remember how I found you originally. It was probably like, I know it was like 3 months ago or something. Like around, like you're one of the actually inspirations to start the channel because I saw how fast you grew it. And I was like, damn, like you can't,
Thanks, man.
I could only find people that already like made it or whatever, you know? So I was like really impressed by, you hit like 1,000 and then you're at like 4,000 in like another month or whatever. I've always heard that the first 1,000's harder. So that makes sense.
But
anyway, my point was, why do you think that like kind of acid graphics, like darker like style is so popular like in the past couple of years?
I think it's because of the artists that are blowing up. I think that, I think it's like it's super linked to music, if you know what I mean. Like I feel like for example, Billie Eilish, you know, she's immensely popular and she's bringing this style, I think, kind of to the mainstream surface of things.
Well, yeah, even like Lady Gaga and stuff, like type of album art was like that recently, which I was like surprised because that was always like reserved for like the alt like artists or whatever, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Like I feel like, for example, when Post Malone's album Bare Bones and Bentleys came out, like over 2 years ago now, I think.
Yeah, it's like Brian something, the guy that made that. He's pretty
Brian Rivera and Travis Brothers.
Yeah, they're impressive.
And there's a whole team involved. But yeah, these guys they also did the Chromatica cover by Lady Gaga, and I feel like they just set like a trend of these, like for example, the barbed wire, the extended typing. That's where I kind of first started seeing it, and then obviously keep people copying it, I guess.
Yeah, I think I first saw it with like Gucci Mane's stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like everyone wants to have that like chrome type that he makes, you know? It's
right.
Like,
yeah.
It's just like, even though there's a million of people I've seen try it, like I still haven't seen it like the way that he does it.
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't even have to like be worried about like all these people trying it because it's so unique. I just bought
I literally had to study his. Oh, really? Cool, man. I did too.
I looked it up after you're talking about it, and I didn't know he dropped it, and then I saw that it was like limited to like a certain amount, so I was like, I'll just get it, you know?
Yeah. I figured I would regret it if I wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
But I've been studying one of the first like Chrome shapes that he posted on Instagram. Like it was somewhere in 2018 or something. And the first time we saw that, I had to analyze it for like an assignment or something. And I've been studying it for like weeks, and I still like. We were still even debate for over weeks. We were still debating: is this done in 3D? Is this done in Photoshop?
No,
And we just couldn't
so
put our
smooth,
hand on
like it's so flat, but it's so cylindrical. Like at the same time, it doesn't make any sense, and the noise and everything. So that's one thing that you said. Who was studying it? Just yourself, or you said for a school?
I think it was during my internship at Yellow Claw. So we kind of had like this mood board, and they were like, how did he make this? And then
what's interesting is I feel this way that in Europe, I think it's kind of like the mecca, I think, for design in general in all aspects. Like I think you guys have always been design forward way before the US. Like the US was a lot more like it's about like the CTA, and like getting through to like the sales. I think design, like they were definitely like they prioritize aesthetics a lot more than us. And it's interesting because even though I think like those acid graphics and stuff is like blowing up so mainstream, in my school in the US, like when I was in school, we were never exposed to any of that, Like I've only seen like all of my stuff was just like Paul Rand and like Saul Bass and just like all the OG like type and logo designers and stuff. And so I was thinking like, what do you think about kind of the design industry versus, have you seen the big difference as well in like different countries like that?
So let me just firstly say that in my education, which is also like kind of revolves around graphic design, I've been kind of in the same position that like the things that I do on Dreadlabs or the things that I see on Instagram and stuff, we're not really exposed to that either. It's really like a niche, I guess, still, even though I think it looks really popular to us because we're also like really like involved in this design industry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like like people like from my school, they don't really have that same style or know anything about that aesthetic or something. Sorry, what was your question again? Kind of rambled off there.
Like, so do you notice a difference in, I guess, like different countries, like in the popular design over there?
So one thing that I can tell you about that, because like in Berlin, in Germany, that's like, I feel like they are just ahead of us. And
that's like all the rave culture and everything too.
Right. Yeah, that's also a thing that like these styles are. That's a big inspiration with the style as well. Yeah, the rave culture there, and I feel like in Germany it's still like thriving more than in the Netherlands or in the UK. Like on my trip to Berlin, it's just you just get exposed to all kinds of stuff. Like the immense amount of street art there, the galleries, like there's still even like a lot of like old school how you call them, like vinyl shops where like actual DJs still buy old school vinyls to play at rave parties and stuff. Like I've never seen that before in the Netherlands.
That's really,
so I feel like they're
crazy.
Just like really ahead.
Because over here, like it's just in LA, it's just full. Everyone's like a hipster, So there's a vinyl record shop like next to a thrift store on every fucking street, basically. And it's weird though, because like, but I think it's the same because it's spawned from like, like Long Beach and all that. Like it's like one of the meccas of like DJing and like original like kind of boom bap like Dre and all that stuff. So that makes sense. If like Berlin's OG rave stuff, they're gonna have all the like original house music and everything.
Right.
I feel like I don't know about the Netherlands too much, but I think Germany and those cities do have that culture. And then I also think like you guys are also really big from the beginning on the whole like, like just Swiss design and typographic style and like Bauhaus, like all that minimalism, less is more. And that's like some of my favorite stuff. And I've always seen that and been like, damn, like we don't do that at all over here until like now. Back in our days, like in like the, I don't know, like ad days, like the 50s and 60s when you guys were doing that, we were like, how much copy can we fit on like this Volkswagen ad or whatever it is, you know? It's totally different.
And it's also, yeah, definitely. But I like to see that difference as well. You know, like in these history of graphic design books, it's also really cool to actually see that contrast. Like it just shows that the world wasn't really, you know, the globalization wasn't just a big thing like it is now with the internet and stuff. Yeah, even though they were still in touch with each other and stuff, you know.
You see a lot of even like other countries, like in Asia and some countries in Africa, their design style was almost like more like fine art for a long time. Like they were still using a lot of acrylic and things like that all the way up until like even when they were posting ads and things rather than like Xerox and all that stuff.
Definitely.
So you were talking about your internship. So is that like your current day job, or do you have one other than Dreadlabs?
Not really. Like this internship was like in 2018. So a thing that the Netherlands is actually kind of famous for is one of our biggest exports is actually DJs. So the biggest DJs of the world, most of them are Dutch. You know, like Tiesto, Martin Garrix, Afrojack, to name a few.
Right.
And for example, Spinner Records, which is like the biggest dance label in the world, it's also from the Netherlands. And there's just like there's also like higher education revolved around the dance industry here. So it's really like it's become like a whole thing here. And which brings me to Yellow Claw, and they're like this DJ duo, and they're like worldwide, and I think they're mainly focused around Asia, Indonesia at the moment. But they used to do like all these big festivals in the USA as well. Anyway, I used to be like a junior graphic designer intern there.
Oh, at the record label?
They have like a record label, Barong Family, and their own like brand, and they do like a lot of merchandise stuff for other artists as well.
Oh, cool.
So that was like the main thing that I was working with them on.
And you just finished it basically. Is that what happened?
Yeah, and I was fortunate enough to get in touch with some of the artists signed to the record label and do some freelance stuff for them. Cool. One of them I work for like from time to time still, called Psycho Boys Club. They're like they do like a lot of rave music as well.
Mm-hmm. They don't get mad at you for doing that? Like, do you stole them?
No, because it's just like I don't do like the artwork for their label or something, you know. It's just like social assets outside of their label stuff.
So when you were working there, were you experimenting with the same aesthetic as like Dreadlabs, or was it a lot more like corporate?
No, it was really like in this aesthetic, and that was also like the first time I was really exposed to this style, I guess, because before I came there, I was like a wimpy designer kid, and I didn't really, other than the basics of graphic design, I didn't know anything. So there were two guys working there, Jordi and Tom, and they just really teach me a lot. They're like great graphic designers as well. And they kind of like exposed me to all design trends, and the biggest design trend, the Dreadlabs aesthetic, I guess you could call it that. Like they exposed me to Gucci Maze,
cool.
Like the digital archive, you know, like all these inspiration stuff on accounts on Instagram. So that's where I kind of got exposed to it first, and then and now I'm just doing freelance.
Because like for me, I've had a lot of like my best stuff I've done, in my opinion, is like through freelance clients or just like personal or whatever. But most jobs I've worked, I worked at this like entertainment agency that was a little more like on edge or whatever, but most of them were like, it's a lot more like you wouldn't be doing no Chrome type for like the marketing and shit, you know what I mean? Like it was very like, I worked at an architecture office. I worked at like a wine like subscription where they send it to you place, and then like a lot of in-house stuff, and then an entertainment agency. But like I even at the entertainment agency, we would create like key art, which is basically the posters and the like, and then you adapt it to all these different, you know, billboard, bus, and you have to So everything you make kind of, even if it's a complex like Photoshop composite, it has to be like at least somewhat responsive, you know, because you have to adapt it to all these things. And even there, some of the senior designers were doing some crazy stuff, but I was like a junior, so I mostly worked on their stuff and helping them like mask and everything. Like they would literally send me just like mask like 20 of these people, and I'm like, fuck, you know.
Wow.
With the Wacom tablet, and they were like hardcore about it. Like you had to no quick selection, you know. You had to trace it all, because
use a pencil.
when you blow it up that big, you'll notice like that weird like edge, you know, like the anti-aliasing
like the weird stuff. It's gotten better over the years, but it's still not where it's supposed to be, I guess.
Sometimes nowadays I do since they added the like select subject or whatever. Yeah. Like that shit's pretty impressive compared to like how it used to be. Sometimes if you have it'll go around the hair, and I'm like, damn, I used to have to use like channels and all that shit to kind of get there. Like if you have like someone with all the little like flyaway hairs, it used to be rough. Yeah. At the agency,
and they even have the refine hair button now, you know.
What was that?
They even have the refine hair button now, which also works pretty well.
Yeah, when I was at the agency though, like they had all these brushes of just little hair, and like they had these guys called finishers, and they'd go into the final art and they draw the hair on the arm and everything, like to draw it back in. And it was like their job was so like micro, you know, like they'd come in and be like, the fur on this dog paw, it's like a little off. You got to go in and like draw it. And it was pretty intense. Like it was a weird, because when you work at those places, it's like Paramount and Warner Brothers and stuff. So the budgets are like disgusting.
Ridiculous.
You know, like they'll come and they have like a couple million for just art, for just marketing.
That's crazy.
And they hire they'll be like, let's say you run your Dreadlabs and you got like my thing, and then like whatever, they'll be like, all right, Dreadlabs, like Gucci Maze and like Jesse, like I want art for like this new Transformers movie, but we all own our own agencies, but they hire all of us and they just choose the best one because that's how much money they have. So insane, each person does like 100 revisions, and we would do that sometimes, and they'd be like, yeah, we didn't get it, you know, like the other company like won or whatever. And so it's like,
that's insane.
It just shows like how much money they actually, if that's how much they spend on that, the actual budget is like 100 million or whatever.
That's insane. So I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I liked it, but it was a little too much like Hollywood, and like everything was just Photoshop, like in everything. Right. If you look at any movie poster, it's just like, even when it looks like someone sitting there, it's not real, you know, it's all just a crazy composite of someone sitting on a bench. Because when you get the art, the scenes aren't even made yet, really. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to
it just has to be done before.
So the hardest ones to do were just the ones of people sitting at like a diner, because it was like fake, you know?
Oh, I have a big question about movie posters then. I don't know if you've noticed, but they always switch up the positions of the actors, and they switch up the names of the actors, if you know what I mean. Like, for example, if like Tom Cruise would be here, and like, I don't know, Adam Sandler would be here. Like here, with Tom Cruise's name would be here, and then Adam Sandler's name would be here.
Really? I don't know. That must be just like those people don't pay attention to that.
Yeah. Imagine like one of these studios getting paid like $100K.
A lot of times though, it's not. I have had situations I remember where it was either by notoriety or by alphabetical. So it could be that.
Ah, okay.
If Adam Sandler's on the left and Tom Cruise is on the right, Tom Cruise would still maybe be first if it was alphabetical and by last name, or whatever, you know. But yeah, like no matter what, you could never do any of that cool like Saul Bass like graphical stuff, because there's so much money on the line. If you have Brad Pitt in the movie, that motherfucker better be on the cover. You know what I mean? And his head needs to be huge. And like, it was cool, but it was very like, we would a lot of times we'd stay there till like 10 and stuff also. So it's pretty crazy. One thing else I wanted to ask you is, so since like COVID and everything, how have you has it changed up like your workflow or anything, and has it been like better for you or more scary with clients and things like that? For me personally, I've been working from home at my day job, and a lot of people have been hitting me up because everyone's bored and wants to start companies and stuff, you know? So it's been like kind of better, but what do you think?
So working from home, I was kind of used to that before because, like I mentioned before, I've been at home with a burnout for 6 months, which I actually started working with a burnout.
What do you mean, like you just a burnout?
So I had like a lot of my plate like a few years ago, and
like you're just exhausted, basically.
Yeah, I got panic attacks because when I like got on the bus or hopped in a car, because like my body started associating it with traveling to school or traveling, I guess.
That's interesting.
So that made me that caused panic attacks. So I couldn't like drive anywhere other than short distances, like within my town or
to the store or whatever.
Yeah. So I basically had no other choice than to do stuff from home, which made me decide, okay, I'm not going to do school for 6 months, and then just like maybe do some freelance work and see if I get better after 6 months. And I got like into therapy and stuff.
Well, worked. I mean, you're doing great. I feel like that happened, but I mean, all that almost is like, without that, I don't know if you'd have the dread, Yeah,
definitely, man. It really it was really helpful for me, and it helped me to like build a bigger client base, and after that I started going to school again and it went better. So yeah, working from home, I was kind of used to that.
Okay. You guys are handling it better though. I think in general, you guys are like good now over there, right? Or not?
Yeah, we had like the second wave, but like I think the worst of the second wave is over. I'm not sure about the third wave, but
yeah.
Yeah,
so it's kind of same for you mostly. Like pretty similar than like to before for you and work wise and everything.
Yeah. So the only thing that was kind of concerned about is most of my clients are DJs or event businesses, and then a lot of those weren't able to do anything ever since March or something. So some of my clients dropped out, but it gave me a little bit more room to start working with some bigger clients, and they still have the budget to do like lyric videos and stuff, even though they couldn't play any shows
and all that, like live concerts and everything. I hate like sometimes I'll get or like everyone's doing like the Twitch concerts and things like that. Sometimes I'll get like, I have the app that tells you like, it just like syncs your artist. It'll tell you like if they're playing a show or whatever.
All right.
And sometimes it'll say like this person, I get all excited and it says like at Twitch, like that's the venue. Like, fuck, it's just especially over here.
That's what
nothing's happening for like a long time. Really, LA is like the most like not like handling this well, pretty much.
All right.
Yeah.
So in the Netherlands, I feel it's not really like densely populated, so it spreads fast when it starts spreading, but like it's also like easy under control after like 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
For example, we were able to like go out and get on the terrace and stuff, drink. Basically in the summer we could do anything we wanted, provided we were socially distancing. But now all the bars and restaurants are closed. They can only do like pickup, and there's like a alcohol restriction. Like we're not allowed to buy alcohol after 8 p.m. or something.
Really? Do you guys have like Postmates and all that stuff over there? Where you, like,
what are those?
The food delivery apps?
Oh yeah.
Like Uber,
yeah, we have those. So.
Yeah.
We like the cities have Uber Eats, and then but like the smaller towns, they have like takeaway.com. So
that's what it's called. It's the same thing though, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. How have you so for me, like the one thing that I feel like has been harder is just being in this environment for a long time. Like I work from home, I get off work and I pretty much just open like a different tab, and I'm still at my desk. How do you find like passion and like what drives you to keep creating and thinking of new ideas while you're kind of stuck like in the same little environment?
So what I tend to do is try to, and I know this isn't really possible for a lot of people, but try to switch environments, or even if it's for a short while. So During the day, during working, I try to get every time like I finish my tea, I get another tea and go downstairs to just make myself some tea, play with my dog for 5 minutes, or and then like if I wanted to take a bigger break, I would like take a walk, or over the weekends I try to visit my girlfriend. She lives like in another town. Like to try to get away from your house as much as possible within the situation.
Yeah, so speaking of like just getting a different environment and stuff, like who would you say or what even is like some of the stuff that's inspiring you kind of the most right now? It could be, even if it's not directly design related.
So you mean like for work, or just like keeping it all together?
Right, like what's inspiring you to continue to like keep like creating stuff for Dreadlabs, or like to keep going with like all that stuff? Do you have anything that is like catching your interest as of recently?
So one inspiration that I've always like has kind of been there is Donald Glover. He's Childish Gambino. He's a crazy good rapper / musician, as well as a great actor, writer, producer. Like he does all of those different things, and I know it's a little bit of a different like creative work field than I do, but it's just cool to see that there's like, I feel like he's just this genius who's just exploring everything and like kind of does a good job at it, I guess. So yeah, that's what I try to be as well, I guess. I try to do all these different things, and I try to be good at it, I guess. Right. So that's been he's been really inspiring in that way for me.
Yeah, it's risky, like, and sometimes it's intimidating to like switch it up like that. But I mean, he has like, he's pretty badass. I mean, he's done like, like sitcoms and all that, like Community and stuff, and then he also drops the album that all the tracks are like numbers and shit. Yeah. I think that I like that design wise, but like usability wise, I'm like, fuck, I don't even know what any of these songs are, I remember when Kendrick Lamar did that as well, and it was like, like Untitled 7. I love that.
Yeah. I love that song. It just sounds so weird as well.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Yeah, that's difficult, but it's just cool,
Is there any other like music or podcasts that you've been listening to recently that we could link to kind of for some of the viewers to check out?
So podcast wise, I have one favorite, and I can kind of see him on your shelf there. It's John Contino's podcast.
Okay, cool.
The book is called Brand by Hand. The podcast is called Nose Nose. Yeah, that's been really fun. That one's they don't really post a lot, and I feel like they just post once every 6 months now.
They're always saying like, we're gonna post, and they don't. It's pretty low key though. Actually, it doesn't have that many views. I thought it was a lot more like popular.
Yeah, I thought it was bigger, but it's just really fun because I feel like they kind of like I love how John kind of seems like a grumpy old man, and just like his intern Brent just kind of feeds onto that. Yeah, and it's just cool to hear them rant about stuff. They
have a
it's
cool
fun.
like dynamic, because he does seem like that, but he also seems like so cool. It's just like a little character or something. Yeah. What about like, is there any music wise stuff you've been listening to while you're working? A lot.
So I tend to switch albums a lot. So for example, this week I would probably like listen to Gambino's new album for 2 or 3 days, and then I would like, I don't know, try to search for like an obscure techno label to just dive into. So it's really been different. So I don't really have like any specific ones. I try to like share them in my Dreadlabs playlist.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, send me the we'll put that in the description, the playlist. Is it Spotify?
Yeah, it's on Spotify.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sometimes it's hard because I don't know. Does most people use Spotify over there? For here, it's like half and half. Apple Music, Spotify.
Right, yeah.
I like Spotify.
Yeah, it's like 90% Spotify here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, one thing I also this is like one of my last questions, a little off topic. When did you get into like the all this Gunpla shit?
Oh, right. So that's also like been like I've been seeing them around like on Instagram from time to time from people, or on YouTube. Same. And I like when somewhere around the summer, I was just like visiting this shop, and I saw one in the like I don't know how to call it. It was just in the shop, and I was like, yeah, now I just have to buy it.
Yeah, it's like destiny.
And yeah, and I was like, this is actually like one of the perfect, like stay at home hobbies.
Right.
So, and it's kind of addicting as well.
Yeah, I already have like, I don't know, like 6 over there, and I've only been doing
Wow.
it for like not even more than like a month or 2,
Wow.
Because I got one, and I had been seeing them as well a lot, and one of my friends was telling me about it, and like, I don't know, when you notice something, you feel like you start seeing it a lot more.
Yeah.
He told me that. I saw, and then the next day I saw your podcast or something. You were like talking about it, and I was like,
oh yeah,
like, all right, I'll check it out. So I just bought like the OG one, in the beginning.
All right.
Right after I did that, I was like, damn it, like I'm addicted, I'm gonna have to do more. Like,
it's
I just
super addicting.
finally built this green one. It's like the bigger kind, like the master.
Oh right.
Or whatever. I only ever done the smaller ones. I think it's a good thing for most like creatives and designers. You guys should check out, because if you're just staring at screens all day, it's kind of shitty to like for your eyes. So it's not, I mean, that's not that good for your eyes probably either, but it's good to have something that's like tangible and like haptic to like actually hold and be like, because most people don't even print stuff out, so they're not even touching anything ever.
Definitely.
The one thing I don't like is doing the stickers, though. I'm not that much of a fan.
Oh yeah. I found out that like when you do it like with a wooden I don't know, do you call it like a wooden toothpick, I guess?
Oh,
like
okay,
when you do it like that, like the stickers don't stick too much. Like when I tried to do it with tweezers, it really didn't work.
Yeah. Like this.
Yeah.
I use like I usually just use the edge of like the blade, like the X-Acto knife.
All right.
But yeah, that actually seems a little bit better. So yeah, I was like kind of a little tangent, but definitely check out the Gunpla. And I really appreciate you coming on here today, man. And if there's anything else that you want to tell to everyone, or anything you want to plug, go for it. I'll give you a little minute.
So I just want to thank you for inviting me. It's been really fun. This was my first podcast and interview, I guess.
All right.
So it was really cool. Also to catch up with you, because like we've been like talking on our Dreadlabs server from time to time, or on Instagram. So it was really cool to talk to you in real life as well.
Man, you too.
Yeah. So, and I don't know, when is this going up? Is it?
I have one more before you, so probably like honestly like a month maybe.
Okay, so I was going to plug Black Friday, but that probably is already finished by then.
More like Christmas.
Okay, so we might have a Christmas sale on Dreadlabs.net. I'm not sure yet, so
don't hold me onto this. So
you
know. And then everything is, I know Instagram and YouTube, is it all just Dreadlabs? Is that the handle for everything?
Yeah, it's all Dreadlabs. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
There's basically in every social platform, even Facebook, even though I don't do anything on Facebook.
I don't use it either. All right, cool, man. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. And everyone, if you enjoyed this podcast, and make sure to check out Tom and Dreadlabs, super cool stuff. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. And peace out, man. Thank you for coming on.
Bye.